It's not any people that are our enemy. We call them ops nowadays. No person inside the industry is our op, but it's the spirit of greed, it's the spirit of negativity, and it's the spirit of evil that has been incentivized, right? And there's been a reward system set up to where if you display the darkness, the evil, the negativity inside of you, and if you do it effectively, then we'll reward you. And when people fall for the bait, that's hypocritical hype. Because when you fall for the bait over 40 years straight, you get a culture that since 1985 has literally, that's when the first gangster rap song came out. Since 1985, we have progressively been pushing what is absolutely not healthy for us. Murder music has become something that's been celebrated and glorified and made to seem like it's a norm at this point. It's something that, as long as you can make the hook catchy and as long as you can make the melody infectious, then even if you're talking about the genocide of your own people, you'll get signed and you'll get legendary status in your hood and in your community because you're good at making that music. Right now, you have artists who they've grown, man. So artists like a Young Jeezy, right? I never met Young Jeezy in person. I know he's a brilliant man. I know it. I've watched some of his interviews. I know he's a brilliant man. My prayer for artists like Young Jeezy would be 20 years after you got famous for making music glorifying the trap, right? Thug Motivation 101. 20 years after you put that album out, instead of going on a tour and performing that album, that's glorifying drug dealing, glorifying a bunch of murder, just, the norm. Instead of saying, well, on this tour 20 years later, we're going to put on tuxedos and I'm going to have a symphony behind me playing the music, but I'm still going to go on tour and perform that same music. My goal would be that you would do something that's really gangster, that's really revolutionary, and say, I'm actually going to denounce what I once promoted, what I once glorified. Now that I'm older and wiser, I'm actually going to come out and denounce that stuff and say, no, that's not what I need to be pushing and promoting. I feel like in the Black community, we're real good at holding other communities accountable. So if you say the N-word in the 1970s and a video comes out, it's like, whoa, you said the N-word? Hold on. And now you're the owner of a football team, Jerry Jones, or you were at a KKK rally and there's a picture of you there. Hold on, man, you got to be held accountable for that. You better not still be doing that now. But what if Jerry Jones said, well, it's the 50th anniversary of me appearing in that photo at that KKK rally. So since it's the 50th anniversary, let me just find a way to celebrate that and re-push that again. We wouldn't tolerate it. But when a Young Jeezy goes on tour, or when Jermaine Dupri is in his 50s and is putting out an album and a documentary celebrating strip club culture in Atlanta. Like literally, it's all about Magic City and celebrating the fact that he's made it rain millions and millions of dollars on women in the club. We don't have the same energy, for that. When it comes to like, come on, now you need to do better. That's what I call DG behavior. We have OGs. I consider Dr. Boyce Watkins to be an OG. I consider many of the people in the Black Business School to be OGs. You know what I mean? Y'all are literally setting the bar very high for what it means to be a brilliant Black man or Black woman. But you're an OG. Meanwhile, some people are DGs. That's a disappointing grown up. You feel me? And we have a lot of DGs in the community, and we call them OGs just because they're old, and that's actually incorrect. So I have a song on my new album, Hypocritical Hype, called OGs versus DGs, and the whole concept of hypocritical hype is we took what we loved about this art form, hip hop. We took it, right? We utilized it, but then we perverted it.